Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be going over everything I read in Laundry Zone in January of 2024. Starting off, I read Heartstopper Volume 5, which obviously is about Nick and Charlie, but in this volume, we're more dealing with the fact that Nick is starting to look at colleges and they're starting to explore more sexual subjects. And yeah, I just love Heartstopper. I think if you haven't, you should read it. It's so good. It's so cute. So wholesome. And yeah, I absolutely love it. Can't wait for season 3 of the show. 10 out of 10. And yeah, this was my first book of 2024, which I'm so excited because when I got it in December, I waited until New Year's Eve night and read it after 12. So it's my first book and I love it. The next one is Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead, which I started this in like November because I picked this up for Books and Lala's book club and struggled through it in November, and then I was like, I really don't fucking give a shit. I don't want to read this. And then so I just kind of stopped, got the audiobook, and then just never listened to the audiobook until like the end of December, early January, and then I finally got through it and finished it, and I would give it like 2.5 out of 10. It's not great. It's about this, basically, it's about this girl. Her name is something. I can't remember. I don't feel like looking. I don't care. She lives in this, old town, like this, like, country little town. And she's, like, the reverend's daughter, or whatever. So, highly religious town. The church is basically the, like, police, the officer, or, like, government in that town. They run everything. Her dad. And so she lives in that sort of town, and she finds her solace in books and stuff. So like they get donations of books and stuff, but they're supposed to get rid of the ones that aren't suitable. Like they're not supposed to read Percy Jackson or whatever because it's like Greek myth gods, and you're only supposed to listen to the Man of Blair. And but her book, her girl, is Twilight, and she in this book you can see her like making like connections between Twilight and her real life, even when it's not appropriate. um, and so yeah, she loves Twilight, and then this book is about her and this boy Everett's relationship. He's like the town outcast or whatever, and it's about their little relationship and kind of like romantic relationship. It's weird. It's like a weird relationship, and yeah, then the cops find a body in the swamp, and do Everett and what the fuck is her name? I don't remember. Do Everett and main girl Ruth have something to do with the body? And then it's about that mystery, why the body's there, and then they find, and then like because people have gone missing in the town, and it's just that whole mystery. And then it all connects, whatever. And the mystery's not compelling. It's boring as fuck. This book felt very long. I struggled to get through it. I didn't enjoy it. Well, I did. Like, I think I enjoyed the audiobook more. Like, if I read this, I would have been like 1, 2 star. But since I read the audiobook and could get through it faster, I was like, okay, this is fine. It's like a kind of like soap opera, like kind of like General Hospital-esque storyline. Nothing deep, nothing sophisticated, and it wasn't great. The mystery was not there. The mystery was boring. It wasn't thrilling. I liked Ruth's and Ever's relationship. I thought Ever was sexy. But yeah, it was just weird. Well, not like weird, like, oh, like wild. Like I've never read a book like this. Just like odd. Like some of the shit that would happen was just like odd, and it just was not great. 2.5. I don't know. Like look up some more reviews or some more if it kind of sounds interesting to you. Look up more stuff about this to see if it's really for you. I'm not very good at speaking. And also I just don't remember. Yeah, I wouldn't really recommend. It's not like the worst choice. But if you read it, do watch Book and Lala's like little live stream she did for November of 2023 for this book. It was really funny. Her co-host was hilarious. And yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Wasn't great. Wasn't like a waste of time, but not great. Okay, so the next book I read is A Taste of Golden Iron by Alexandra Rowland. And this is about this little princey boy, who, he has like this rivalry with his sister's, like baby daddy. And So, like, an incident happens, and he gets a new guardy guy, and then they're kind of like romance, like, enemies to lovers thing blossoms. And it was okay. I gave it like a 3 out of 10, and I got this book from my mom for, she does, I don't know if it's actually real, an Icelandic thing where you give each other a book on Christmas Eve, and then you have to start reading it, whatever. And so she gave me this one, which she had actually already given me for my like 22nd birthday, but she forgot. She had cancer, chemo brain, whatever. And so I started reading it, and whew, it was a slog to get through. There's just a lot. This one needed an editor. It needed to get edited down. Just not a whole lot going on. There's like the deception in Kingdom because someone's like adding, like, because there's like their gold like thing that they used to pay or whatever, and someone's melting down that stuff and adding like fake shit to it so that they can make more gold out of whatever. And but like this guy and people can like touch the gold and see if it's real or not. So I don't understand why people were doing that in the first place, because they're just gonna get caught, because if they gave it to someone that could do, I don't know. And so that like whole mystery thing wasn't very compelling. There's just a fucking lot of fluff in this that did not need to be in the book. I feel like there's a lot of, like, the main guy is like insecure or whatever, and there's a lot of him questioning himself. Like, I feel like fucking chapters on chapters of him just going back and forth on what he should do. And like, I get that's a character thing, he's not confident, blah blah blah, but it was like, holy fuck me, dude. Just like, oh my god. Just always second guessing himself, always and always and always and always and over and over again. I just needed to get moving, and like the mystery was not good. Of like who's up behind this thing, because it's fucking obvious who it is. Like, as soon as you meet that character, you're like, oh, it's that character, and it is that character. So I don't understand. Like, it just wasn't that good or compelling. It was so long, and I just felt like nothing happened. The romance was very like slow burn, very very slow burn, and just the main character was fucking annoying. I'm sorry, the main prince guy, he was just so like meek and so like second guessing every fucking move he made, and it was just so annoying. Like, I get it, but it's like, bro, you're a fucking prince. Like, I get that if you don't know if you're making a correct decision, but just like go with it, just pick one and roll with it. Like, you know what I mean? It was just so fucking annoying. And yeah, I wouldn't really recommend if fantasy is your thing and you like gay, then sure, read it. Okay. The next one I read is Scooby Apocalypse, which is a kind of like retelling of Scooby-Doo. And just they're in an apocalypse or whatever. There's like these zombie creature things. And like Velma, it starts off with like Daphne and Fred are already like a duo. They have like this show or something on TV, but they're not together. I don't know, whatever. And then Velma's this doctor lady, and Shaggy's a dog trainer at Velma's facility. And then shit happens, whatever, apocalypse happens, and they get together to fight stuff. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was cute and stuff. Like, I think I gave it like a 4 or 3 or something. Like, it was fine. I liked it. My only main issue is, so basically, Daphne blames Velma for the apocalypse happening, and so every time Daphne and Velma talks, Daphne somehow ends up yelling at Velma and saying it's your fault and you need to take responsibility. Then it's like, okay, she did it once, she did it twice, okay, oh, 4 times, oh, 5 times, oh, every time they talk, she does that. And so it gets old very fast, and it's just fucking annoying. The art is fucking gorge. I love the artwork. Here, wait, let me look for a good picture. Ooh, see, that's pretty nice. The artwork is gorge. I enjoyed. And I'm happy to have it. Will I continue in the series? Probably not, because there's no other physical ones that I could find. And I don't care enough to like not get it physically. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I don't know. It was a fun time. Love Scooby-Doo. I have a tattoo on my arm of Scooby's collar. And yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a good time. If you're a fan of Scooby-Doo or comics, then sure, give it a roll. The next one I read was And They Lived by Stephen Salvatore. And I read this for Books and Lala's book wordathon thing for January. It is there, and there. So like THERE, THEIR, and THY apostrophe RE. there, and there. And you might be saying to yourself, where's the there? I don't have any books on my TBR that have there in it, or just on my shelf anywhere. And I wasn't gonna buy another book to do a word-a-thon or whatever. And so I said, okay, there's a they, close enough. And I don't give a fuck. I'm not buying more books for a word-a-thon or whatever. I don't care. So this, like, I'm doing the word-a-thon just so I can get through some books that have been sitting on my shelves for a while that might fit that thing. And this one's been sitting for a while. And so I read this, and it was fine. I give it like a 3 out of 10. It's about this Disney boy, or like Disney person, because okay, so the main character Chase is like non-binary-esque. Or they're not really sure what they are throughout this entire book, if they're like non-binary or not. Like, they know they're not like cis, like they feel it that they're like something in the middle more, but they don't know. Like, they've been living with him for so long, and they are comfortable with that, so they don't know if they want it to change, blah blah blah. And I love that Chase is a little chubby, get some chubby rep. That's like one of his big things, because he's very insecure about his body, can relate. And so he's Disney obsessed, he wants to be an animator, and he goes to college, and he meets this like hunky football-y guy, and they have a little romance in college, but shocker, football-y guy is not out of the closet. And then it just like wasn't incredibly well written. The story was fine. I knew the beats that I was gonna hit. Nothing really surprised or shocked me. I knew as soon as the story started where we were gonna end up, and we ended up there. I liked the chubby representation. I can't really speak on the non-binary rep, but like I thought it was okay. I think, like, I don't know, I can't really speak on it because I don't live that experience, but like I don't know. I thought it was okay, not offensive. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It was fine. Wouldn't say go out of your way to read it. It was fine. It was just another kind of book, Sorry. The cover's really pretty though. The next one I read is Boys Weekend by Maddie Lubchansky. And this one's also a graphic novel. Like, ooh, the art is so pretty. I really like the artwork. See, it's like this kind of style, which I really like. And this is about a trans femme kind of woman. It's like, I don't know if they're all the way like transgender. It seems more like in the non-binary sphere, because there's like a swimsuit scene, and she's wearing like no top, like, because she doesn't have boobs yet. And so I don't know if it's entirely like trans woman, but I think it's more like trans femme, like women presenting kind of thing. And it's about her being invited to a boys' weekend with her old friend from college, because it's like she used to be one of the boys and hang out with her best friend and all of his boys, so he doesn't really want that to change, and invited her to go on a boys' weekend with him and his boys, because he's getting married. And so it's about her journey going to a boys' weekend with all the bros. And I just felt so bad. She was just constantly getting misgendered left and right, and had no reaction to it. I was like, fuck, that must suck. And yeah, I enjoyed it. It's like they go to a like kind of like futuristic like bro park area, and it's crazy. And then like shit hits the fan, it gets horrifying or whatever. See? It gets like kind of horrific. And yeah, I love the premise. I love the premise of like a trans woman like going to a boys' weekend with her old bros, when they used to be like bros, because she would, And yeah, I enjoyed it. I loved the artwork. I thought the writing was smart and funny. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. There's an element like at this boys' weekend, a girl came with them. But it's like one of those like bro-y girls that like doesn't like other women, you know the type. And I love their one interaction, because fucking real. It's given very J.K. Rowling. And yeah, I gave it a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. The next one is Candy Cane Kills by Brian McAuley. And this is about a family, a mom and dad, a brother, and a sister. Who the sister's disabled. I don't know what she has. She has like, I think she has some autonomy of her legs, but she has like those like kind of crutch thingies where it's on your arms and you like can still walk with them, but like obviously not 100% functional. But and so they go to this little cabin house and yeah, to like spend Christmas there together. And the mom and dad are bickering and fighting all the time, and the brother really just wants to be at home with his friends because he's kind of coming to terms with the fact that he's a crush on one of his friends, a boy. And yeah, and then they go into town to get like lunch or breakfast, dinner, or whatever, and they go to that town and say where they're staying, and they're like, oh, well, people died there. There's a fire, blah blah blah, people died, and like there's like a killer, like a daughter went crazy, killed everyone, called Candy Cane, and they're like, oh my god, we should like, then they're debating leaving or not, and they're like, no, we're not gonna leave, and there's a big snowstorm, and they get stuck there, and then, is Candy Cane alive? Blah blah blah. And yeah, I gave this a 5 out of 5. I absolutely loved the story. It was like, this is in Killer VHS series, which this one, 100% plays like one of those like schlocky like 80s 70s movies about a family going to a cabin and there's a killer there, and I fucking ate it up. I loved the storyline with the son and his relationship with his friend that he has a kind of crush on. That was adorable. I appreciated the parents dynamic, even though it was kind of toxic, but like it gets like, I kind of like where that story goes, you know. And I loved the disabled rep for the sister, and just how she's struggling with the fact that she needs help but doesn't want help, especially as a teenager. And I feel like that's so real, that like to need help but not want help. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I give it a 5 out of 5. And if it's still witchery by you, pick it up. I really enjoyed it. This is the second one in the VHS series. I have the first one now. But yeah, I really fucking loved this book. It was quick, it was fast, I really liked it. The next book I read is called The Mirror Season by Anna Marie McLemore. And this is about a Hispanic? I know she's like Hispanic or Latinx, whatever you prefer, and she gets assaulted, and it's just about her kind of coming to terms with and dealing with the fact that she gets assaulted. But there's some fantasy elements, because after her assault she finds a flower that's like made out of a mirror. It's like a mirror glass flower, and that like breaks and then flies all over and then gets into her eye, and then she becomes like angry and spiteful and doing stuff out of character. And I think there's like metaphors you can draw from that like it's like what happened to her, it's like kind of affected her so deeply, but she hasn't wanted to, blah blah blah. And but like on the night she was assaulted, there's a boy in the next room who was also assaulted, and so like after her assault she pulls herself together to check on him, and he's out cold, and then she brings him to a hospital. And so like it's just so harrowing, like right after her assault, that she saves this other boy who was just assaulted. And it's just about her coming to terms with being assaulted, and then turns out the boy is a new student at her school, and then her relationship with him and dealing with that, because she obviously seeing him brings her back to that night. And I don't know if I was living for where the relationship went. You know, there's just some stuff with it. I don't know if I was living for that. And yeah, it was a very pretty, beautiful book. There's like this whole storyline with like someone stealing trees or whatever, which is just weird. I don't know, and I don't know if I was living for the fantasy elements of it, like with the flower and stuff, which I think I might have just not like fully got in it, you know what I mean? Because it's probably like metaphorical and shit about the flowers and stuff. But yeah, I really liked it. I gave it a 4 out of 10, or 4 out of 10, 4 out of 5. not like that, but Jesus, no, like 8 out of 10, 4 out of 5. Yeah, I thought it was gorgeous writing, very beautiful, very pretty. I enjoyed our main girl. I enjoyed the guy too. And yeah, I thought it was very pretty. It was extremely fast to read, and just like her coming to terms with her assault, which was heartbreaking but beautiful at the same time. Okay. And then the next group of books I read for my video that I posted before this, called like reading my childhood favorites inspired by books and lava, of course. And so I'm just gonna go, I like wrapped up at the end of that video all my thoughts, so I'm just gonna go through these fast. So the first one I read was The Outsiders. I gave this one a like 4.5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. I think everyone knows what The Outsider is. I think it's mandatory reading, especially for like middle school age. It gives you a lot to discuss and to think about as a kid, and yeah, I love it. The next one I read is Wolverine Worst Day Ever, 5 out of 5. Absolutely love it. It's just about this kid who gets like recruited to go to Xavier's School for the Gifted. And I eat it up. I love it. It's mundane, not a whole lot happens in it, so just know that. But like, I love it so much. If you're into the X-Men or have a like middle school or elementary school into the X-Men, 100% recommend. Then I read The Zombie Chasers, which I gave a 4 out of 10 or 4 out of 5. I keep on saying out of 10, 4 out of 5. And yeah, I just about these group of kids surviving the zombie apocalypse. The next one, Zombiekins, which I gave like a 1 or 2 out of 5. Not great. It's about this like zombie dolls that turns people into zombies. Zombiekins is barely in the book. This was not good. Did not hold up at all. Would not recommend. Waste of time, waste of money. The next one I read is Belly Up, which I gave like a 3 out of 5, and it's about a kid who is trying to solve the murder of the hippo at the zoo he lives in. And boring, not a good mystery. The next one I read is Flawed Dogs, which is about this dog who's flawed. See, he has like a little ladle as a leg, and about his journey to get back to his owner. And this one, 5 out of 5. Very sad, very heartbreaking, but I absolutely loved it. If you have a middle schooler who loves animals, would highly recommend, but it is very, very sad, very heartbreaking. Next one, Tale Darker Grimm, which is about Hansel and Gretel as they jump from fairy tale to fairy tale. And yeah, I gave it like 4 out of 5. Enjoyed it. He's my girl. Okay, next one I read is Blown Away. And this one is about a kid who lives in Florida and just his daily life there when a hurricane hits. And I gave this one, I forget, did I give this, I gave it a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5, whatever. Really enjoyed it, good middle grade. Next one I read is Zach's Lie, which is about this kid who dad gets mixed up in the drug ring, and so he has to go into witness protection program with his parents, Comanda Mi Lovato. And yeah, I gave this a 5 out of 5. Absolutely loved it, of him adjusting to his life in the witness protection program. Then the last one I read is The Doll People, which is about this little girl doll who's like 100 years old. She's antique, a China doll. And then her friend Tiffany, who's like a plastic new doll. And just about their life, or about exploring the house that they live in. Like, not their dollhouse, their real house. Or like with the people that play with them. Trying to find Annabelle's aunt, Sarah, who has been missing for 40 years. And yeah, gave it a 4 out of 5. It was good. So yeah, that's all I read for the month of January. Stay tuned for February. That's the next one, I think.